Yeah, I mean, definitely. So one big one was we ended up resizing the pressure chamber. So the original design had it um, a little bit small, I guess. And so what we found was there wasn't quite enough. If you charged up the pressure at the beginning of the breath, then at the larger breath volumes, the chamber would run out of air and you'd have to reopen the valve to the wall, which then threw all the pressure, threw everything else out of kilter, and you get this kick of pressure into the input line for the patient. So with a bigger reservoir, you could avoid that. You basically just charge up the pressure reservoir, and you wouldn't have to refill it until the patient was breathing out. So that was a big change. The Yeah, I mean, there were. I'm trying to remember. I mean, there were a number of changes. There were also questions of what we were going to do and what we weren't going to do within the scope of the time we had. So early on, we were planning to do both volume control and pressure control, and at some point, it became clear that we're not going to have time to do pressure control, and also it was difficult to do that without an accurate model lung. So even though we had planned for that in the software, we didn't end up implementing that piece. Um, the other thing, this is not so much an answer to your question, but I think it's an interesting story. The screen was, essentially a separate piece of software. So the screen, it's a smart screen. There was an interface group that was devising the user interface for it. And Farida had been writing the interface between the Arduino and the screen. And it's kind of amazing. This never happens, but basically we had one day to take that software that Farida had been writing and the main control code that we had and integrate them and get them working. And it worked. I mean, it was kind of amazing. This never happens. Things always take longer than you expect. And I was thinking there was no way we're going to get this done in one day, and yet, it all came together. So that was kind of exciting, And in fact, we got even more done. Not only did we get it connected, but we put in some of the alarms. I didn't think we were going to have a chance to test, and we even got some of those working. So that was kind of a fun ending to the thing, and I think it's maybe, I'd like to think it's credit to the planning that people have been doing, the careful planning everyone had been doing, and also the quality of the people who were working on the project. Both of those things.